welcome here to TALKFCB and welcome to the channel on a very, very special day because we are going to be discussing Xavi's words ahead of his coaching debut at the helm of Barça. We're going to be discussing all the thoughts that he had ahead of Barça against Espanyol. He spoke with real confidence, he spoke with positivity and a real excitement about the players that he has at this club that he can work with. And I think that's something alone that we haven't heard in a Barça press conference for such a long time. And he spoke in detail about what he's going to expect from a number of those players: Frenkie de Jong, Memphis Depay, Philippe, Coutinho. Xavi has a vision for this club, and it's very, very close to getting underway. Let's do it. Because Xavi there was asked exactly how he was feeling ahead of his coaching debut in charge of Barça. He said, look, I'm very calm. He said, I'm excited. I'm really happy. He said, I'm a positive person. I'm back home now. And he said, I'm actually a lot less nervous than when I was a player. He said, that's a much more difficult job in my opinion. He said, now all I need to do is trust my players and have full confidence in what they can do. Xavi admitted that Espanyol is going to be a challenge, that they are a top team. He said, we have prepared well for this game. We know they press well up front and that they can counter-attack very quickly. They've also scored a lot of goals from set pieces. They're a top team and we will need to compete. But then Xavi started to open up on exactly some of the changes that we may indeed be able to see in these early days. He said, I hope you'll see some tactical changes, you know, what we've been working on. He said also psychological ones too. And of course, changes in the result. He said, our objective here is to play good football, and this is what we want to show. But of course, there have been plenty of questions and doubts really over the attendances this season at the Camp Nou. And one thing that I think all of us fans want to see is the stadium full again, feeling alive and really helping to get our team over the line. Xavi said, we need all of our fans. They are going to have to help us in every single home game. He said, out on the field, we're going to give our very best for them. He said, I can assure you, you won't see any problems with our attitude. He said, we want to see the fans happy, just like at my presentation. Xavi said, we have to be united, and that was certainly not the last time that he was going to say that and talk about that togetherness in this press conference. Xavi was asked though, would you rather get that first win tomorrow, get the 3 points by any means necessary, or are you looking to play good football? Is that going to be your priority in this game? And I did like Xavi's answer because he said one of those is a consequence of the other. He said you do one, the other will follow. He said tomorrow we're going to have the ball, we're going to be in control of the game, we're going to press very high from the front, we're going to play in our opponent's half. And Xavi said, we can't drop points tomorrow. We're 9th in the league. He's very, very real about our situation right now. He says we have to win, and Xavi is under no illusions right now about the expectations that he knows only too well at this club. Before, of course, Xavi was asked about the rules that are in place that have been very well documented over these past 2 weeks or so, and he was asked especially about Gerard Piqué. He has a lot of things going on outside of football, a life away from football. Maybe those rules may restrict some of those people, but Xavi said, we all have a life outside of football. He said, of course we do. But he said, rules are important for this club. He said, it's just a matter of having order and we've got to follow them. He said, after what I've seen from these first few days, everything looks good. We're like a family. And again, that's not the last time that he was going to use that phrase. You really do feel as though this right now at Barça is a much closer group, all pulling in the same direction. Xavi said, I have experience. I know that when I've had rules in the past, things work much, much better. I know what works as a coach and what worked as a player. He said it's an attitude that we need to have, having respect, having values. He said, this is Barcelona. Xavi was then asked a very interesting question about what the team was doing before he arrived as coach. Did he feel as though this was a team that was underperforming? You know, since he's come in, has he been surprised by the team? And he actually admitted that, you know what, yeah, the talent here, the quality, it has surprised me. He said, I can't give my opinion on what happened before. He said, I wasn't here then, but since my arrival, I've seen a great attitude from the players, full commitment. We need to be together again, like a family. He said, everything is really positive and they've been working really well. He said, when I came in, the players were a bit down, of course, because things haven't been going all that well before, but he said, we've been speaking with each of the players individually, along with as a team. Our message is clear and the players are motivated to improve. And again, it's so important for me talking with those players individually, making sure that they understand that they really can implement the kind of ideas that Xavi wants to bring to this club. Before Xavi was then asked, can you still win La Liga? Are you still looking at the Champions League? Are these still objectives that Barca can have this season despite our situation? And Xavi said, the objective is to win games. He said that is what we have to do. He said obviously we're not in the best position right now. We're not even qualified yet for the Champions League. That of course is our priority. He said but we have to be positive. We want to win tomorrow, and then on Tuesday against Benfica, we want to win there too. He said here, you have to fight for all of the titles, and that's what I would really take today from the press conference. Xavi was much more optimistic. He was giving out hope, optimism, excitement there. He wasn't just downplaying everything. He wasn't being entirely negative and always looking on the downside of things. He wants to give the fans hope. He wants to give the players hope and make them push and work hard to achieve our objectives. He was asked, of course, about the options that he may or certainly may not have in the attacking areas of the field tomorrow. Will he have to rely on young players there in those forward areas? Xavi said today we are going to train after we've had this press conference. He said then I'm going to decide exactly who's going to play. But he said yes, Ansu, Usman, Sergio Aguero and Martin Braithwaite, they're all going to be out. They're not going to be included in the squad list. He said but we're happy with the youngsters who we've been working with. He said we have faith in them. And again, it's a case there of saying, you know what, we do have injured players. We do have a lot of problems, but I've also got faith in those who come in. I'm not just going to say that I've got nothing else, that I can't really compete with what I have. I'm going to make the most of those younger players, and we're happy with what we're seeing. Xavi was asked there about Memphis Depay, about the role that he may have under him. Is he an important player there? One of the few players, of course, that we do have available in that forward line. Xavi said Memphis is a really important player for us. He needs to be important with the ball. He's capable of creating chances, playing in a 1-versus-1 situation, and of course, he scores goals. He said we need him. We're going to need him. And he can play as a number 9 or out on the wing. We've got lots of players who are versatile at this club. Before then, Xavi was asked indeed about Memphis' international teammate, Frenkie de Jong. And this was probably one of the training photos yesterday that was really exciting to me. I think they're seeing de Jong back in training, learning and working alongside Xavi. That is something that really does make me very hopeful for the future. But of course, we want to see the best version of de Jong. We want to see him thriving at this club. And Xavi was under no illusion. He said Frankie has to be important for us. He has to make the difference in this team. He's got to be important in attack, defence. He said he can score goals as well, and he can help us in many different areas of the field, but he has to make that difference. And that there was a rallying call, I think, to see the player that we all know exists within him, that we haven't quite seen over the course of this season so far. Before then, Xavi came on to the subject of Philippe Coutinho there. He was asked about Coutinho. Is he going to be involved in your plans? Is he a player that can be important for you? And again, the answer was very much there, trying to motivate and really inspire the player in question. Xavi said Coutinho is somebody who can also play in many different areas. He said he needs to recapture his confidence. He said we have spoken with Coutinho because he can also be important for us and he can help us, but he said it all depends on him. He has the talent and he will have chances for sure in my team, and we're going to help him mentally too. So there's a real awareness there that there's players with quality, with talent in this team, but I think at times they do need that arm around them. They do need help mentally to help with the pressure, to recapture that confidence, and Xavi there believing that Coutinho can be important in his team. Before finally, Xavi did talk about a man who will not be involved tomorrow, sadly, Dani Alves. But what does he feel now that Alves is officially back at the club? Xavi said the president told me that Alves was available. I thought about it. I know Dani very well and I believe that he can help us in many aspects. He's a winner. He's positive. He has character. And also what he can do on the pitch. He said we've seen his last games. He's arrived here in fantastic physical shape. And Xavi even himself, he said it's a real shame that he can't play until January. But I just think overall, guys, right throughout this press conference from Xavi, it was extremely refreshing for me that I've watched all of Ronald Koeman's press conferences. I've watched press conferences before that too, from coaches of Barca, and it's just been a long time since we felt this level of excitement, since we felt as though there's somebody there right now who can get the best out of what he has. We know that we have problems, we know there's things that need sorting in this team, but we do have good players, we do have very talented players, but you need to coach them, you need to approach them in the way that brings out their best level, and Xavi is certainly right now the best placed man to do that at Barca, and I think we all cannot wait until that first game. Please do let me know, guys, all of your thoughts there from Xavi's words in that first pre-match press conference. I will see you, of course, over on the main channel very, very soon, because right there, we are going to be discussing everything you can expect from Xavi's Barça against Espanyol. I will see you later, and I thank you for your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!